Let's go, Washington Commanders fans. Starting another news roundup here on the channel, bringing the latest updates about our team. This is Charles speaking with you. Welcome, everyone. How are you? Let's get into another roundup. Always quick, objective, and very up-to-date. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel and leave that like to strengthen us, because today's news is very good and promises to excite the fans. Diami Brown is having a magical moment in the postseason and has been a key piece for the Commanders' offense. After a quiet regular season with 30 receptions for 308 yards and just one touchdown, Brown showed all his potential in the playoffs. In the first two postseason games, he recorded an impressive 11 receptions for 187 yards and a touchdown, leading the team in receiving yards in both victories. This shows how he's ready to be a decisive factor in the most important moments. Commanders head coach Dan Quinn made sure to praise Brown in his recent interviews. Quinn highlighted the player's evolution and how he has taken advantage of every opportunity. According to the coach, Brown not only prepared well during practice, but also demonstrated a champion's mentality on the field, showing he can be reliable in high-pressure situations. Diami has shown tireless work behind the scenes, and what we're seeing in games is a reflection of his dedication, Quinn said. And that's not all. Brown's presence alongside Terry McLaurin has been a difference-maker for the Commanders. While McLaurin continues to be Sam Howell's primary target, Brown's rise has given the offense an extra dimension, making it harder for opposing defenses. This duo promises to be even more impactful in the next matchup, which will be none other than against the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship, a duel that will decide who goes to the Super Bowl. The game against the Eagles, happening this Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, promises to be the biggest test of the season for the Commanders. The Philadelphia team, which had one of the best regular season campaigns, comes in as the favorite. However, the Commanders have already shown they know how to surprise, as in their previous victories against the Buccaneers and other strong opponents. The main point will be Howell and his receivers' ability, including Brown, to face the Eagles' strong defense, especially with the pressure that Philadelphia's front seven is known for applying. Another important point is the Commanders' defensive strategy. The unit led by Quinn will have to deal with the Eagles' explosive offense, commanded by Jalen Hurts. Limiting the ground game and forcing Hurts to rely exclusively on passes will be fundamental. The good news is that Washington's front seven is also on the rise, with players like Chase Young and Jonathan Allen ready to make an impact. And speaking of impact, confidence in the team is growing. The fan base is excited about the team's progress this season, and there's a feeling that this group is building something special. The culture change promoted by Quinn and general manager Adam Peters has been yielding results. With 12 wins in the season, a playoff spot, and consistent performance, the Commanders are finally showing they can compete at the NFL's highest level. Fans, this game is much more than an NFC championship. It's an opportunity to prove that the Commanders are back in the NFL's elite scenario. Diami Brown, Terry McLaurin, Sam Howell, and the entire roster know the importance of this matchup and are ready to give everything on the field. Do you think Diami Brown will continue to shine? Can the Commanders contain the Eagles and reach the Super Bowl? Next up, nation, let's change the subject. The Washington Commanders are eyeing wide receiver George Pickens from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Management is analyzing a possible trade this offseason to bring more weapons for sensation quarterback Jayden Daniels. After a spectacular rookie season, securing explosive targets for Daniels will be essential to keep the team competitive and aiming for the Super Bowl. Pickens is seen as a phenomenal deep threat, according to Tyler Brook of the 33rd team. He would be the ideal partner for Terry McLaurin, forming one of the NFL's most dynamic duos. The idea would be to acquire Pickens for a second-round pick in the 2025 draft. This move would allow offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury to expand the offensive scheme, adding explosive and vertical plays that highlight Daniels' talent in deep passes. Although Pickens has accumulated good marks, including being second in receptions of more than 30 air yards in a season, behind only Tyreek Hill, he faces challenges in Pittsburgh. Between on-field penalties, training delays, and statements about dissatisfaction with the Steelers' offense, the environment for Pickens isn't the best. Therefore, the trade could be beneficial for both the player and the Commanders. Acquiring Pickens would bring an elite vertical receiver capable of transforming Daniels' offense. Currently, Daniels averages 3.7 completed air yards per attempt, focusing on short and quick passes. With Pickens, the Commanders could open up the playbook, adding more depth to plays and refining the quarterback's passing game. Additionally, Pickens is excellent after the catch, which fits well with the team's offensive style. Of course, there are risks. Pickens has shown volatility on and off the field. However, head coach Dan Quinn has promoted an environment of professionalism and responsibility in Washington. If there's someone who can help Pickens reach his maximum potential, it's Quinn. Moreover, Daniels' talent as a leader and thrower could motivate Pickens to commit more to the team. What do you think about this possible trade? Is Pickens the right reinforcement to take the Commanders to the next level? Is it worth the risk? Comment your suggestion below in the comments section. Let's go to close today's updates, starting with a moment that touched the hearts of all Commanders fans. A video of our wide receiver Terry McLaurin, made inside the tunnel before the game against the Detroit Lions in the NFC Divisional Playoffs, went viral on social media. In it, McLaurin, who was selected for the 2024 Pro Bowl, appears motivating his teammates with an inspiring speech full of passion. He emphasized that this would be a landmark game, a moment to build the Commanders' legacy, who made the playoffs for the first time since 2020. The impact was immediate. The team took the field with overwhelming energy, scoring an impressive 45 points and totaling 481 yards against a defense that had limited the Vikings to just 9 points the week before. This offensive performance was a true lesson in how a united and well-trained group can defy all odds. The Commanders are one step away from the Super Bowl, something that hasn't happened since the 1991 season. The next challenge is the NFC Championship against the Philadelphia Eagles, who are just 2 years removed from their last appearance in the big game. The two teams have already faced each other twice this season. In Week 11, the Commanders were defeated 26-18 at Lincoln Financial Field, but in Week 16, at home, Washington got revenge in an epic 36-33 victory. The highlight of that last matchup was, without doubt, rookie quarterback Jayden Daniels, who led a historic comeback. Daniels came back from a 27-14 deficit and finished the game with 5 touchdown passes, including a decisive one to Jamison Crowder with just 6 seconds remaining. It was a moment that proved this young quarterback's potential and this roster's strength. Despite this, the Commanders know they'll have to adjust some details to face the Eagles again. The main focus is on taking better care of the ball, as the team suffered 5 turnovers in that Week 16 game, which almost cost them the victory. Even so, the Commanders enter this matchup as 6.5-point underdogs, according to bookmakers. But as we've seen this season, underestimating this team can be a big mistake. The leadership of players like Terry McLaurin and the winning mentality that head coach Dan Quinn brought to the team in his first year have been crucial differentials. And speaking of McLaurin, he's not just a leader on the field, but off it as well. The wide receiver has been showing that he's the fundamental piece in keeping team morale high, especially in decisive moments like this. Additionally, Jayden Daniels' development in commanding the offense continues to impress. Offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury's work also deserves highlight, with schemes that are maximizing Daniels' abilities and the entire offensive roster. Another important point to be observed is how the ground game can be exploited against the Eagles. Brian Robinson Jr. and Antonio Gibson showed efficiency in crucial moments this season, and a balanced game plan might be the key to surprising Philadelphia's strong defense. The offensive line, which has been consistent, will need to maintain its high level of protection so Daniels has time to exploit the opposing defense's weaknesses. Do you believe the Commanders have everything necessary to overcome the Eagles and finally reach the Super Bowl? Do you think McLaurin's leadership and Daniels' talent will be enough to secure this much-dreamed-of spot? Comment your point of view in the comments section. And that's it, nation. Like the video, leave your like, subscribe to the channel. Very important. Thank you very much for the support. We're together. Thanks for everything, and go Commanders.